Hello, my name is Christian Lesage, and the reason I put this video together is to help you students um, understand a few basic steps that are necessary in order to help you succeed in this class or this course. So let's begin. So first step is definitely log into your D2L at the beginning of each week. That is what's very important. Do not wait until the end of the week or, think you're going to do everything, at the very last minute. I guarantee you, if you do so, you will experience some difficulties. So definitely, as I listed here, Monday is best, Tuesday at the latest. Definitely check in and read all the announcements if I posted any at the on the homepage of the D2L for this course, and definitely definitely make notes. So give yourself, write down reminders, or put that at calendar dates, whatever. But please be very disciplined and do this every week at the beginning of every week. Okay, so step 2. So definitely click on, once you're in D2L, click on course materials and or content. And the reason why I wrote and or content is because in some D2L courses, you have to click on course materials first, and then it'll drop down and say content. Then you click on that. But on other D2L courses, you can just click right on content. It's right there on the home page of the D2L page. So that'll take you to all the content that's available for the course. Okay. Then the next thing you do is you click on the appropriate week, such as week 1 or week 2, etc. And so more than likely you're looking at this video during week 1. So click on week 1. You will see, though, that each module for each week, once you are looking at the contents, they will have a start, an opening and closing date, or a start and end date. So definitely be aware of those. I designed it in such a way as to allow students to focus on just the important materials for each specific week that they're involved in. More often than not, if I leave modules open all the time, students think that they will just skip, a week, and then they try to do everything right before an exam or something. And quite honestly, that's not going to work very well. So please be disciplined. Please look at opening and closing dates for each week and act accordingly. All right. So step 3. So watch the video presentations that I created for that week. And while you do so, feel free to pause the video, take notes on things that are new to you or things that are important to you. And you can see here I made a note, definitely watch it more than once during the week. Because you need to do some repetition in order to start getting some of this information into your long-term memories. You will see that, as we have studied the chapter later on in this course on memory, that there are definite steps to take, in order to ensure that the information gets stored in your long-term memory. That way you can, remember this, and stuff will look familiar once you take exams or talk about this in your discussions or something. So step 4 is read the chapter in the textbook or the ebook. Depends on what you are using. Some of you prefer, hard copy, paper format type books. Which, I happen to be one of those type of people. And or some of you prefer an ebook and like to look it up on your phone or your computer. So either way is fine as long as it works for you. So remember, I put a couple of reminders here. First of all, the goal at first when you're reading the chapter in the textbook, the goal at first is not to memorize. but just to gain an overview of the chapter topic. And as you do so, then highlight or underline or make notes of the materials that you recognize from the video presentation or those you feel are important. And what's important to understand here is I said, the goal at first is not to memorize, but to gain an overview. So that is the highlighting, underlining, or note-taking process. Then you will go back, and review it. And that is when you will start, getting some of this information into your long-term memory. So step 5, be sure and download and or print the chapter study guide, and try to, answer its questions. So, because remember, I put some notes here, the study guides are intended to help you focus on the most important concepts from the chapter, especially those that will appear in quizzes, if this course, has quizzes, and or the exams. So definitely, do your work, use the study guides. Those are really probably one of the most important steps you will take in this course. And if you cannot find the answer to a particular question, be sure to use the index in your textbook or your ebook. Often, if you just use, keywords from the questions and look in the index, that'll take you to the page you need to go to in order to find the correct answer. Okay, and also some notes here. Be sure and participate in discussions. If I have discussions, assigned for that particular week or this course. So if so, discussions are intended to help you find answers to questions you have. So you can, say, look, I'm having particular, troubles with this particular question. And, be sure in the discussion, if you are asking about a question, is write what the question is. Don't just say, I'm having trouble with question number 4. Does anybody have the answer? Because quite honestly, if you leave it at that, I probably won't give you any points for that, because that doesn't that's not really discussing the questions or the materials that are in the chapter. So please be aware of that and try to put a little bit more into it than just, saying, does anybody have the answer to question number 4 or something? Okay. Also, remember, discussions, they are intended to help you gain insights and help you to memorize the materials for each chapter. And last but not least, just want to remind you, discussion participation is required, if they are assigned. And I say that because not every single course is always going to have the exact same requirements. And I want to use this video for a lot of my classes. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, also, if I have assigned online quizzes, I have designed those such that those quizzes are, they're designed to allow you to practice a certain group of questions that I feel, are fairly important, or cover some important materials in the class or the course. So, so in order to allow you to practice the material, you are allowed 2 attempts for each quiz. And this is going to allow you to see what questions you answered incorrectly and to study them in order to get the questions right on the second attempt. So I highly recommend you try to be ready, take the quiz, earlier in the week, see which questions you missed, if you missed any, search, try to find the correct answers, and then take it a second time when you feel confident, before the closing date. And generally speaking, but not all the time, but generally speaking, the quizzes are going to be open basically from Wednesday through Sunday, generally speaking. Not every class will be the exact same, but this is just generally speaking. So be sure and check, the starting and ending dates for the quizzes if they are assigned in this class. So just a few parting thoughts, okay? So, be sure to follow these steps each week, make them a habit. Sign in and look at D2L on every Monday and definitely Tuesday at the very latest. Second, be proactive and self-disciplined, which I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And do not allow yourself to get behind and say, hey, I'll just do this later. I've got things to do over the next day or two, and I'll just catch it at the end of the week. Because if you do that, you're probably going to experience some difficulties and even some lower grades, So good luck. And I hope this these instructions have helped you. And I will see you in the class.